why New York is way better than California.
Okay, I only got 60 seconds, so we're going to have to make this quick, all right? You said New York is better than California because you can walk everywhere. It's not a flex, all right? I'd rather sit in traffic than sit in some dude's mystery juice on the L train. All right, walking 10 blocks to get my groceries when it's 12 degrees outside isn't fun. Secondly, you said we don't have delis. Download the Yelp app, bro. I don't know what to tell you. We got German delis, Italian delis, Jewish delis, got them all over the place. Or you're just not looking in the right spot. I will say, though, every time I go to New York and I want to get a burrito, nasty, because it's made by some dude named Craig. All right? Thirdly, and most importantly, to have the audacity to compare the entire state of New York, which is really only the West Village and Brooklyn are the only two cool places. Manhattan is trash, and you know it, all right? Out of your mind, dude. The entire state of California, San Francisco, San Diego, Los Angeles, 800 miles of beach. What do you got? You got chopped cheese and that fake Burberry scarf. California forever, goodbye.
All right, everyone. Episode 32, PHumblepodcast. I'm your host, Pej the Maniac. You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on my YouTube channel. It helps me out a lot. I have a very, very special guest today. He's nice enough to join us, spend a little bit of his time today with us. The one and only TK California.
What's
How you
up,
doing?
y'all?
Hey, thanks for coming on, man. How's your day going?
Chilling, man. I'm doing good. Glad we got to do this, man. I'm stoked for it.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's an honor. It's an honor to have you on. Let's start with how you even came up with this idea to become an influencer on California Forever.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I was probably like most of the people in the world, 2020 in March, everybody got quarantined, everybody got stuck inside. I had TikTok, but I hadn't really used it. And I was actually trying to do the music thing. So I was like playing guitar stuff and doing things like that. And as I just, got quarantined and started scrolling through my feed, I kept getting hundreds of thousands of videos like in my feed about like why California sucks and how California was the worst state or whatever. And I was like, how are people actually believing this? So I literally responded to one video. It was one of those trends. I forgot the girl's handle, but it was like, tell me you're in California without telling me you're in California or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of like stitches and duets on her video about people showing like garbage cans or people like taking a crap on the toilet. And I'm like, okay, I'm responding to this. So I did one like stitch or response to that video. And it literally like, I went to bed one night and I woke up and it had like 200,000 views. And I was like,
man.
holy shit, this is crazy. And then it just got from there. So then I kind of found my niche that way. And just started responding to all the California hate.
That's crazy, man. And that was your first one, and it blew up.
One.
That's
first
cool.
One.
That's how you know, like you said, that was your calling.
Yeah.
That was awesome though, like to get on your first view, because as many who know, I'm also on TikTok and I've been starting to post. I mix music. I actually didn't know you're a musician. That's awesome. I didn't know you play music, man. Yeah, that's my first love myself. So I've been a musician forever. So and maybe we can talk about that in a little bit. That's pretty cool. But yeah, like I grew up a musician, and then it was just but I always loved comedy, and I always enjoyed it, and I wanted to mix that in, like with my family. I always did it, they always say I'm the clown and all that, but
sure, yeah.
But like family always says that, so I was like, let me really test the water and see if I'm actually got something. So but to get the first post and for it to go to 200,000 views and likes, and that's crazy. So and then what about when you came up with the whole slogan that you've come up with, the California?
Oh man, it was so, like, honestly, it was so off the cuff.
Yeah.
I did that first video, and I don't think I did it in my first video.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of crazy, like my account is like half of a character. Like I don't want to say that it's like not necessarily like genuine or authentic. I literally believe everything I say, but like there is like some like showmanship to it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Um, so it was a little bit of a character, and then I think it was one video I was doing about Texas, of course, and
Of course.
yeah, and I think like Texas forever is like a thing. Like people in Texas say that a lot, like Texas
Oh,
forever. And so I was responding to someone from Texas and I just said California forever, goodbye. And I did it, you know, kind of in the inflection and the voice that I do in my character. And literally then, yeah, people were like, oh my gosh, that was the best sign off. So I just started signing off all my videos with that. And yeah, it's crazy. It's just crazy what people like gravitate towards, you know, and what people actually like enjoy. You
it's
think it's gonna
yeah.
be something stupid and it's that. And they're like,
That
oh, this is cool.
Yeah, it's true. Even though that is hilarious, the way, like you said, the inflection and everything, it's trendy. But I just, you're right about that, you know. And I've been like ever since I've gone into TikTok and trying to post and being an aspiring influencer like yourself. I've been trying to study up on what the hell they actually like allow to share and stuff, because I've like put a lot of thought into some videos and like I post that and then it gets like nothing, and then I post something stupid and it gets like hella
Yep.
view. It's just
100%.
I don't know how the algorithm works, but you know I've been trying to look into it. There's a bunch of YouTubers who actually break that stuff down, but
Sure.
um so you said you have a family too, right?
Yeah.
You're yeah. So married, kids.
Married, 3 kids. They're all under 5, so it's chaos over here, but it's fun. It's fun chaos.
That's cool, man. I'm not a father yet. I am married, so it's cool to see others when, you know, they're doing what I want to do, and then they're also adding kids to the mix, because you know my wife and I obviously have been talking about that. So
Sure.
how is it balancing all of that with this new career?
Yeah, like I view TikTok as really like a creative outlet more than anything.
Mm,
I am part of the creator fund, but it's you know minuscule. I maybe make like 50, $60 a month, like in
yeah,
all honesty.
yeah, yeah.
So it's not something that's going to pay bills or anything.
Hmm.
Um, but it's really for me it's yeah more of that like creative outlet where I get to just rant.
Yeah.
I had a buddy in high school, and we're still great friends today, and so you know he works up in Ontario, California, like the Inland Empire where I grew up, and he said, hey, someone came into my work, like a coworker, and showed me one of your videos, not knowing that I know you. It's like, hey, you got to check this guy out, he's really funny. And he's like, yo, that's like my best friend, like we were like homies. And he's like, yeah, he's been talking shit his entire life, he just decided to record it. And I'm like, yeah, that's honestly true. Like this, I love talking crap. Like, dude, it's like my favorite thing to do. So
Yeah.
it just comes like kind of a little bit naturally to me. But balancing family with this is I mean balancing family with anything is hard, but I
Mhm.
really don't spend a ton of time on this. Like I try to make like 3 or 4 videos a week, which if you listen to people who are like really trying to blow up, they're like, dude, that's not enough, you got to do more. I'm like,
Mhm.
dude, I'm cool with where I'm at. I'm cool with like
I see.
the followers that I have. Like if
Yeah.
I keep growing and I keep getting new followers, then dope. But I got a full-time job. I teach a course at a college. So it's like I got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So this is more just like a fun thing for me to do on the side.
That okay. That's cool. Yeah. See, like I get. I mean, as you're explaining that, and you're a teacher and at a college, a professor at a college. That's I teach music as a private teacher myself. That's my actual career too, and at least you're making a few bucks from the influencer.
Sure.
I'm not even there yet. So, but you know, I mean, my thing was with all of this, like you said, your friend, as he described, that you talk shit for fun anyway, and he just started posting it. I mean, for me, all the stuff that I'm posting, I do it already. That's why I figured if I'm going to do it for free, might as well post it and see what comes of it, you know. And
Sure.
it's a passion, you know, for me. So um My wife will tell you though, I'm an extremist. So whenever I zone in on something or I'm focused, I'll go all the way in. And so I, that's why I asked about the balance, because for me, I'm trying to work that out, and of course we're trying to have kids eventually, so that's going to be in our near future. But I'm glad it's inspiring to see that it's possible. So it's not, I don't have to shut this down when that comes.
Yeah.
So and so I told you when we were discussing you being on that, I grew up in Maryland, and I was like, might be fun to, I mentioned some things from Maryland, and then we kind of roast Maryland a little bit, even though I love that state. No hate against them. I have family there, but it's just, we're having fun. I actually came here in 2003, right? So finished high school. I had no plans of my future. I was just kind of letting the summer go by before community college, and then my dad comes in my room. He's like, "You're taking your ass to California." And my
what an amazing dad! What an amazing dad!
right. He was, because my sister had got married, and she was already in Dixon, California. No one knows where
I've
that
actually
is.
never heard of Dixon. No.
Yeah, Dixon, California, small ass city in between the Bay Area and Sacramento. It's a very small city. Yeah. So I go from Montgomery County, Maryland, which was pretty decent, and then I move over to Dixon, California, where it's basically farmland. So in the beginning, understandably, I was like, what the hell is going on? And all of my friends were on the East Coast, so I was basically a reset button for me, which was great in hindsight. I loved the fact that I moved here. I needed it. It was good for me. But Maryland always loves to talk about their crab cakes and talk about,
That's all I know, bro. That's all I know. Maryland and crab cakes. That's it. That's all I know.
Yeah. And the harbor right by Baltimore, there's that as far as like a touristy place to go. Maryland is probably one of the smaller states in the country. So
sure.
And it looks funny too, because it doesn't even have a real shape. But
so here's like my first thing when I hear about like small states, especially on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So in Maryland, for fun, where do you go? Like, where would you visit?
The first thing I would say would be the harbor, or you would go to what's funny is the first
you go to a different state, right?
You go to DC.
Yeah. That's it. It's like, yeah, your state isn't fun if you got to go to another state to do something cool, right? Like, that's just, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. Their one claim to fame is their football team, the Baltimore Ravens.
Sure.
That's, they got that.
I love the Ravens too. Yeah, they're sick team, super sick team.
Yeah, the 2000 team, and then the 2012 team, which unfortunately they beat the 49ers. But
yeah, dude, I love this team. I love the team this year too. I'm a big sports fan, so the Ravens are just like one of those franchises that like I just can't hate. You can't hate on them. They're too sick.
Yeah. Oh, the quarterback is sick too, man. I mean, that guy.
Yeah, Lamar. Yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah, Lamar is dope. Yeah, I grew up the formerly known as Redskins Washington football team fan. Not much to cheer for. My uncle brainwashed me in 1995. He told me this team, and I didn't even speak English at the time. I moved here from another country in Iran. I was 8 years old. I come, he sits me on his couch, he shows me the TV. He's like, me and our 2 other friends that came. He goes, that team right there in red, we cheer for them only. And ironically, they were playing the Cowboys, which was
hilarious.
Easy. Yeah, it was easy to hate on the Cowboys, but
100%.
Yeah. And then so then we go, okay, because we thought Uncle's cool, and 27 years later, we're like, what the hell, man? Nothing's
come on. Pick any other East Coast team for me, man.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Ravens win. Literally, they became a team the year after I had committed to the cult of the Washington football team. And so anyway, it was funny. What's funny about Maryland is a lot of people, they're either Ravens fans or they're either Washington football. You can't have both, right? So when I left, I was like, you know what? I like both, and you can hate me all you want for it.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not that serious. Like, you can like both teams. I
Yeah.
know that there's a thing with the when the Raiders were in Oakland, Raiders and Niners. That was the same thing here. So
Yeah, it's hard because I mean it's just natural. Honestly, like part of I think why I have a little bit of success on TikTok
yeah,
is you find things that people are seriously so passionate about
yeah,
that are so divisive, and you just take a really hard stance on one side, and people will hate you for you get a lot of hate. I get a lot of hate. I get a lot of
yeah,
DMs. I get a lot of people, but it's one of those things where you get the other side too, where you get so much love from the people who like share your opinion.
yeah,
And with politics, it's just boring because like who cares?
yeah,
I hate talking about politics, but
yeah,
like with sports or even with like this regional thing, like everyone who doesn't live in California pretty much hates California, right?
yeah,
So the easy thing to do would be like, oh, let's make content about why California sucks. And a lot of
right,
people do that and they get a lot of love for it.
yeah,
I was like, no, I'm doing the opposite because
yeah.
I know there's 40 million people in the state who probably have my back who are going to be like, yeah, this guy's finally saying something that, sticking up for us because we get so much hate. You get hate when you're at the top, man. I don't know what to tell you. That's just how it is.
It's true. It's true. What do you think about Elon Musk trying to move to Texas? He doesn't even want to stay in California. What's going on with him?
Yeah, well, that was a whole dude. There was a whole thing like I as a business person. I'm
Yeah.
sure he's. Let me just start off by saying he's way smarter than I am. So, so if it was in his financial best interest to move to Texas, I'm sure that's what he's going to do. But yeah, from what I heard last though, is with the whole power grid situation that happened last winter, and even that's happening now, like they have an independent power grid over there that's just being with everybody moving over there
Yeah.
and the influx of energy being used, like it's crapping out. So for the last that I heard that he's actually expanding the Fremont headquarters
Oh,
and he still is going to have like an operation in Texas, but he's got operations kind of in a lot of other states too.
he's got
Um,
operations in space at this point.
yeah,
So,
honestly, for
yeah.
sure, you're right. Yeah, 100%. So yeah, I mean, he's going to do whatever is best for the company for sure. But I think the same thing about like I don't really listen to Joe Rogan, but Joe Rogan made a big deal about him moving out over
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
and Ben Shapiro moved to like Florida, or like two like bigger celebrities who moved. And the thing that just made me laugh was that they wrapped it in this like, oh, California's like going to hell, so like we're moving out. It's like, no, you're moving out. Just be honest, you're moving out because you're going to pay way less taxes in
That's it.
Texas or Florida. That's it, and that's fine. If you said that, I'm cool with that. Like that's totally fine. But don't like, bro, you
Yeah.
trying to convince me that Texas is better than California? You have $50 million. So anywhere you live is going to be dope, right?
Right.
Like you're going to have access to the dopest stuff. You're going to live in the dopest cities.
Yeah.
But don't. You moved out there because you're going to save money, and that's fine. Just say that.
Just be honest, man. That's it.
Yeah,
It's hey, California is expensive. That's not a secret. But
100%.
it's not a secret, but you pay for what you get, right? That's
That's it.
like anything. Like you want Neiman Marcus or you want,
Facts.
TJ Maxx, So,
Dude,
so
I love a Lamborghini. I think a Lamborghini is way better than the freaking Toyota RAV4 I'm driving, but I can't afford one. So,
I feel you, man. I feel you. Oh man. That's cool though. It's but in all seriousness, California does have its perks and it's all states are known for something that they're known for.
Sure.
Nebraska is known for the biggest telephone, apparently.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Every time I hear Nebraska, I just think corn. That's all I think.
Yeah. So I drove through because when I moved my wife here, she was from Virginia.
Okay.
We pick her up. We drive through Nebraska, and we're like, oh, we were trying to Google what's cool here or there, and then we Googled every state we got through, and then Nebraska had known for largest telephone, and we went and found it, literally a big ass telephone
Sure.
in the middle of the desert. So I was like, all right, cool. And
See, it's that stuff, like especially in the middle of the country, bro. Everything in the middle, it's bad, dude. I mean, it's like when the world's biggest telephone is your like claim to fame, like you got a problem. I mean, it's one of those things where you see it once and then you saw it, you're done.
Yeah, yeah.
Imagine like living there. It's like, now what? Like,
Yeah,
dude, I have family who live in Michigan, right? And they live like in like the suburb-ish part of Michigan. And I remember going out there in the spring. So it was kind of like rainy, kind of like slushy or whatever. And I'm like, all right, let's like go do something. They're like, well, it's like not really much to do. Like we got to kind of drive a ways. I'm like, okay, well, like, what do you guys normally do? Like, let's get into something. Like, honestly, we usually just like drive around. And we literally got in the car and just drove around for like an hour, not going anywhere, like literally just drove around.
Nothing
like,
to see even.
No, nothing to see. It's just like, because you're not in Detroit or like a big city. We weren't like really close to any like the lake, like the Great Lakes or anything like that.
Yeah.
We were just in like this landlocked suburb. And I'm like, dude, you guys just drive around? That's all you guys do? Holy hell, this sucks. It sucks.
I think the last great news that came was the Palace of Auburn Hills got crushed.
Wait, the Malice in the Palace?
Malice? Yeah, because
well,
Malice at the Palace, there's a Netflix thing on it now.
I saw it.
Fire. Great. Yeah, amazing.
Fire.
And then there was but then they talk about how they demolished the building. And
yes.
Yeah, it's yeah, that thing was crazy. I watched that game live when it happened.
Me too, bro. I was little. I mean, I think I was like 12 or 14 or something like that. But
yeah. How old are you now, by the way?
I'm 33.
Wow. Okay. See.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm 2 years your senior, but yeah, we were both basically kids when that happened. What did you think insane. When you first saw that shit go down, dude? I was like, I remember. So my dad's from Detroit, so he's a huge Pistons fan. He's a huge Red Wings fan. He's not a Lions fan because he's smart. But you know, what's his football team?
Well, so I mean, he's been in California now. He's 50 something. He moved out here when he was 20, so at least 30 plus years he's been out in California. Okay. Yeah. So I was a big baseball guy growing up. So
I see.
I played baseball, still love baseball. Yeah. And we weren't really into football. So we kind of like hopped on the bandwagon when the Rams came back from St. Louis.
Okay.
Because I never really had an affinity with the Chargers, ironically enough. They were probably like the closest team to me.
Yeah.
But I didn't really know enough about football, to be honest. And so when the Rams came back, I'm like, okay, I'm actually going to like pay attention and start learning like how the sport works. So anyway, yeah, dude, when I watched that Malice in the Palace thing, I literally was like, I thought it was fake. I thought it like, there's no way this is like really happening. And dude, my thing, dude, is there's a really short story, but there's a minor league hockey team in Ontario, California called the Ontario Reign. Okay. Now, I don't know if you know anything about hockey. You don't really need to know anything about hockey, but in hockey, you're allowed to fight.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the minor leagues, it is heavily suggested that you fight. It's a different, like the NHL, you fight for like a purpose, and you know, it's like there's a kind of a little bit of rationale behind it. In the minor leagues, they're just like 18-year-old kids who are just filled with testosterone. If they just get pissed, they're just wailing on you, right?
Yeah.
Dude, so this little small stadium, I mean, it probably holds like 10,000 people. It's small. We had seats kind of close to the visitors' entry and exit tunnel. Wow. Minor league games, you get beers for like $2. People are just freaking hammered, right?
Yeah.
And it was a really like intense game. It was a great game. The visiting team starts leaving the tunnel, and a dude in the stands throws his beer on one of the players, like exiting the tunnel, right? And I'm sitting like 2 rows behind this guy.
Oh, God.
And I see him just chuck it, and you see like the splash or whatever. Now, that kind of happens in the NBA still. Like when people get ejected or whatever, and then now they're doing a great job of like just kick the guys out. Like you can't be here, you can't do
exactly.
That. The security was like 45-year-old dudes named Frank who aren't going to do anything, right?
Yeah.
This player, bro, with his skates on, climbs out of the exit tunnel, hops the barrier, and just starts whooping this dude's ass.
Oh man. And you saw like, it all
in front of me, bro. But my thing is as soon as I saw it, I bounced. I'm like, I'm not staying here.
Yeah, that's smart.
I'm not letting people think like I did that, or I was close to, or I know this guy.
Yeah.
And that's dude. I don't know how you. So I'd love to know how how this works like in your culture, but like white dudes. If I see another white dude getting like hammered on, I'm like, dude, that guy probably fucking he deserves it. I'm out of here. I'm not
Yeah.
staying with this guy.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, just get
That's
out. Why are you staying there?
and that's very similar to what happened at the Malice at the
Yeah,
Palace, man. That's crazy. So that happened before you saw the Malice at the Palace or after?
after
Oh
after.
wow! So you're like, holy shit, this is similar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's why I was like, I'm out of here, bro. I'm
yeah.
out. I'm not staying here.
We're
I've
not
seen this
having
happen.
another. God, that's crazy,
Yeah,
man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, hockey's intense, man.
it
The things
is
they get away with in hockey is crazy.
insane.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't have more concussion protocols and shit. Like, because the NFL is all about that now, right? But like, well, kind of all about that. But but NHL is. I feel like they got more leeway. But anyway, man, that's an intense story, and you were there for that. That's Ontario, California. You said, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I've been there, man. I flew into that airport once. It was with my
Sure. Yeah, dude. My
yeah.
homie. Yeah, my buddy works at the airport.
Oh, that's cool for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you played guitar.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been playing for a while. Probably since I was like in fifth grade. I was a big sports guy, but then um, I picked up the guitar. You know how it is. I mean, as a musician, like the hardest thing is usually like that first year because it's so frustrating because you want to play something, you want to play like your favorite
Right.
song or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, my parents got me into guitar lessons. I played like as much as I could, and then in high school I went to a really really small high school, so I played sports, but then I also played in like the kind of like jazz ensemble, like guitar,
Yep.
like jazz guitar and
Yep.
blues
Yep.
guitar and stuff like that. So yeah, I love guitar. I can be dangerous on drums, but I'm not very good. But I can like it'll like sound okay, you know?
Okay, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Did you play any bands? Were you in bands growing up?
I was in a really shitty band in college. Yep. Our biggest deal ever was we did. Have you ever heard of Chain Reaction in Anaheim, California?
I haven't,
It's a
but
small
that's okay
venue.
because you
Yeah, yeah.
haven't heard of you probably haven't heard of anything I played in either. So
Oh yeah. I mean, you're definitely not going to hear about that. But Chain Reaction out here in Southern California is kind of like a little bit of a Orange County staple like venue.
yeah,
So like it's hard to compare, but like because LA has so many, but like Whiskey A Go Go in LA is kind of like, and the Troubadour in LA are very like iconic.
right.
The like iconic venue in Orange County is Chain Reaction.
Got
So
it. Got it.
we did like a showcase there,
Oh wow.
and we leave the stage, and the guy was like, "Hey, I have this guy come in. His name's Kevin Devine, and I want you to open for him." The music that we played was like kind of like folky,
Hmm.
you know, whatever. So he was like one of like our inspirations. Like why when we wrote music, we're like, oh, this kind of sounds like him, and this is cool. Like so, it was like a good fit. But we
Yeah.
got to open for
Kevin Devine.
an artist that we loved, that we followed, and that was like as soon as we did that, I'm like, let's retire this. We're at the top. This is as big as we're gonna get. But
That-
that was like our coolest thing.
That's cool, man. That's awesome. What was your band called?
Oh man, we were called Wallets and Wells. Such a bad name.
Wallets and Wells.
We
I've heard
were.
worse, so don't worry.
Oh, I don't know. So the whole concept behind the name was we were going to whatever money we make. That's how arrogant we were. Like we thought we were going to make money, but the money that we were going to make, we were going to try to start clean water projects in like lower income or lower
Oh, nice.
yeah, it like heavily impoverished areas or whatever. So our thing was like, oh, it'll be like a band, we'll make money, but then we'll also like generate a cause or give to a cause. But we didn't make any money, so there you go.
I can relate. I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. But you know what? I with music or with any of this stuff, to go full circle with as an influencer or as a musician, which kind of all bleed into each other. If you're not doing it because you love it and you're doing it for the money, I feel like you're going on a slippery slope there, and it's only going to last for so long. And I feel bad for people who haven't found that passion or haven't found something they love like that, I know people, family members that I can see the struggle in their eyes, and they're just going after their money, but they come home angrier than the day before every day. So I'm just
Sure.
like, I'm like, it's tough. And then I see, so I feel blessed. Like I feel like I um I'm lucky that I can laugh at this world. I'm lucky that I can be not take it too seriously, although my wife will call me out on that
Yeah,
sometimes.
sure. That's what they're there for.
That's what wives do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they humble you. But it's honestly, I mean, like I ever since college, I went to UC Davis. What school did you go to?
I went to Cal State San Bernardino, so it's a super small state school.
Yeah, yeah.
But I have a cousin who goes to UC Davis right now.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. No, man.
Yeah.
Aggies all the way. I ever since college, man, I started, the band ended right around when I started college, and then I went through 10 years of trying to live a real life and like trying
Sure.
to like figure out, oh, what am I really going to do though? Like that was fun, but what am I really going to do? And I realized in the last 10 years, like, no, this is what I should be doing. And the best part about it, being Persian, and your parents mostly want you to be a lawyer, a doctor, or
Facts, yeah.
or an engineer. I didn't do any of those. I said I'm going to be a music major, and my dad was like, "Great, go for it." Like that was such a weight off my shoulder when he told me that, because my dad went in Iran, like he didn't have the opportunities to play music as much as he wanted to. He loved music too. He was a drummer. So anyway, it was cool, man. It's one word of advice I guess I can give to anybody out there listening, and they're trying to figure out their shit right now, is do what you would do for free because you love it, and then find a way to make that your bread and butter. Any advice you'd give to people who are trying to figure out their situation?
No, I mean, I 100% agree. Like it's hard to, I'm a very like pragmatic person also though. So it's like, hey, there's real bills that need to get paid,
For
and there's
sure.
real like obligations that need to be met. So I had a friend, there's a food publication called Food Beast, and the guy who runs it, his name's Eli. He's a really good friend. We used to work together, and when we worked together, he was passionate about food, and like would, anytime like there was something new on like a famous menu or whatever, he'd go out there with a camera, film it, react to it. This was like kind of before like YouTube like really blew up, kind of a thing, right? And I remember talking with him down the road. Now he's full-time Food Beast. It's one of the biggest like food publications on the internet. Like he's met crazy celebrities. He's a judge on a lot of these shows, like food shows. So like to see his arc was, like you said, he was passionate about food, and he's like, this is what I want to do. I know like the path, but I'm not making any money at it. So I'm still going to have to do XYZ, right, to meet my obligations. And I'm still going to do this. And then he just kind of started, as he started building up the Food Beast thing, he just started kind of phasing out his other job. And then, now he's full time. He's been full time Food Beast for a while, but he's such a cool, like case study for me to see, like, dude, this guy was passionate about something, found out, like you said, what he wanted to do, figured out how to make money at it, but then didn't take on a ton of unnecessary risk, where he's just like, I'm not doing anything else. I'm only doing this, even though it's not making money. Yeah. So there's a path for you, man. It's just everybody's path's different. So you just got to kind of have to roll with the punches and figure out what's working.
That's very true. Very true, man. 100%. All right. Well, TK, I really appreciate you spending time with me, sharing your story about how you got into California forever. But it would only be fitting if you roasted something or some state. I saw your last post on Florida trying to trade with Italy or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And we talked about Ben Shapiro going to Florida, so that was a mistake. Let's talk about that, and then we can send it off.
Yeah, I mean, really, honestly, I said this in another video. Is I want to be very clear. Is like there are other cool things to do in other states. Okay, so I'm not saying every other state is absolute dog trash. There are some dog trash states, but every state, there's probably some cool things to do. My argument is that California is just objectively the best, because whatever you can do in your state, that's not California, we can do in ours, and it's probably better. All right. So whether you live in Texas or Florida or New York or whatever, we have the food, we got the weather, we got the nightlife and entertainment. We got it. We got everything. So you could do the beach, the mountains, the desert all in one day if you wanted to do it. It's California and it's the best, and it's California forever. Come on.
There it is. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Follow TK California on TikTok and Instagram. You will laugh your ass off watching his videos. This is Fumble Podcast, episode 32. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any Fumble content. This is Pej the Maniac. I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you, TK.
See you, boys.